So in the previous class we had begun the chapter alternating current, and we saw what is the voltage obtained from an AC source and also the current from the AC source. And we began the circuit analysis with a simple circuit of a resistor and the AC source. And there, when we analyzed the AC voltage applied to a resistor, we found that the AC voltage was obtained as V is equal to Vm sin omega t, and Vm is the maximum value for V, and also the current from the AC source was I is equal to Im sin omega t, where Im is the maximum value for the current. And we can see that both voltage and current are in same phase, and therefore when we represent voltage and current graphically, we can see that the maximum value for both current and voltage is at an angle omega t equal to pi by 2, and the other peak is obtained at omega t is equal to 3 pi by 2. And also both current and voltage are becoming 0 at omega t equal to 0, pi and 2 pi. So clearly from the diagram we can see that both current and voltage of the purely resistive circuit, that is the AC voltage applied to a resistor, are in phase. Now we are going to analyze the phasor diagram of the current and voltage of purely resistive circuit. Phasor diagram is the graphical representation of magnitude and directional relationship between two quantities. In a phasor diagram, we represent the magnitude of the quantities and also the directional relationship between them, that is the angular relationship between both the quantities. So here our phasor diagram gives the phase relationship between the voltage and current. So in a phasor diagram, as we told, we represent the magnitude of the quantities, that is the blue arrow is the magnitude of voltage, and definitely we know that the magnitude of current will be less than the magnitude of voltage, as we know I is equal to V by R. Therefore the magnitude of current will be definitely lesser than the magnitude of voltage, and therefore the red line represents the magnitude of current, and the maximum value is Vm for voltage and current is Im. The angle made by both current and voltage will be omega t. Both current and voltage will be making the same angle, same phase, that is the angular difference between current and voltage is 0. There is no angular difference between both current and voltage. So this is what we obtain by analyzing a phasor diagram. Now we are going to see the average current and power for a purely resistive circuit. So here is the representation of the current obtained from an AC source, and the form of AC voltage and the current are sinusoidal. From this graphical representation of current, we can say that in a complete cycle, that is one crust and one trough constitutes a complete cycle. So in a complete cycle, the average value of current is 0. We can see that there is an equal positive half cycle and equal negative half cycle, and therefore the average of current for a complete cycle is obtained to be 0. So from the graph we can clearly analyze that for one complete cycle the average current is 0. Now this is what we obtain by analyzing the graphical representation of the current. Now mathematically let us try to prove it. We know that current is given by I is equal to Im sin omega t, where Im is the maximum value of the current. Now this current is a function that depends on t, and we know that for a function that depends on a variable t, to get the average value we use the integral formula, that is integral f of t dt divided by integral dt. So this is how we obtain the average value of a function for the given interval. So here we are going to find the average value of current for one complete cycle, that is from 0 to t. T is the time period of the current. Therefore I average can be written as integral 0 to t I of t dt divided by integral 0 to t dt. And we know that I of t is Im sin omega t, and putting that value we get Im, which is constant, is taken out, integral 0 to t sin omega t dt divided by integral 0 to t dt. And we know that the integration of sine is minus cos, and there is a constant along with the variable, that is omega t. Therefore we have to divide it with omega, and the denominator, that is integral 0 to t dt, is simply t. So by putting these integral values we obtain the expression as Im into minus cos omega t from 0 to capital T divided by omega t. Now applying the integral values from 0 to t, we get the expression as minus Im by omega t cos omega t minus cos 0. And we know that t can be written as t is equal to 2 pi by omega. This is a well-known relation, that t is equal to 2 pi by omega, and by putting that value here we can write cos omega t as cos omega of 2 pi by omega. Therefore the expression becomes minus Im by omega t cos omega 2 pi by omega minus cos 0. And here we can cancel omega and omega, then we get minus Im omega t cos 2 pi minus cos 0. And we know that cos 2 pi and cos 0 are having values 1. Therefore the whole expression becomes 0. This is how we get the I average for a complete cycle to be 0, and this is the mathematical proof for that. Even without this, with the help of the graphical representation, we can clearly say that for one complete cycle the average current will be 0. So we have found that the average current is 0 for a complete cycle. Though the average value of current is 0, that doesn't make the average value of power to be 0. Let us analyze how we obtain the average power. We know that power is given by the expression I square R, and putting the value of I we get Im square sin square omega t R. Now taking the average value means here the variable is sin square omega t. That is Im square R are the constants. So average of sin square omega t decides the average value of power. Now the average of sin square omega t, we know that sin square omega t again is a function that depends on t. Therefore we are going to find the average with the help of integration, that is for a complete cycle integral 0 to t sin square omega t dt divided by integral 0 to t dt gives the average value. Now here sin square omega t can be written with the help of the relation sin square theta is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta divided by 2. Therefore sin square omega t can be written as 1 minus cos 2 omega t divided by 2. Now putting this value for sin square omega t, we get the average of sin square omega t as integral 0 to t 1 minus cos 2 omega t dt divided by 2 t. Integral 0 to t dt is capital T. So in total we obtain the denominator as 2t. Now integral 1 dt is t itself, and integral cos 2 omega t is sin 2 omega t divided by 2 omega, and the limits are from 0 to t, and denominator remains as 2t itself. And now on applying the limits, when we apply the limits for the first term, that is t, we get capital T minus 0, which is capital T itself, minus, on applying the limits in this expression, we can write sine 2 omega capital T divided by 2 omega minus sine 0, and we know that sine 0 is 0 itself. Therefore, the expression on applying the limits becomes t minus sine 2 omega t by 2 omega whole divided by 2t. And again we are going to substitute for t the expression 2 pi by omega as we did before. Now when we apply the relation t is equal to 2 pi by omega in the expression of sine 2 omega t, we get here sine 2 omega into 2 pi by omega. And in the expression sine 2 omega into 2 pi by omega, we can cancel the omega, therefore we get sine 4 pi as a result. Thus the expression becomes t minus sine 4 pi by 2 omega whole divided by 2t. And we know that sine 4 pi is 0, therefore this term becomes 0, and the average value has only the expression t by 2t, and which gives the value as 1 by 2. Thus the average of sine square omega t over one complete cycle is obtained as 1 by 2. So here we are in an attempt to find the average value of power, which is equal to Im square r, average value of sine square omega t, and now we saw that sine square omega t gives an average value of 1 by 2, and putting that value we get Im square r by 2 as the average power. Therefore the expression for average power is Im square r by 2, which is a non-zero value. Though the average current for a complete cycle was obtained as 0, the average power for a complete cycle of the current is a non-zero value, which is equal to Im square r by 2. This is the average power dissipated in resistor by an AC. Now when we compare this power expression with the general expression of power, that is P is equal to I square R, the current used in the expression of power here is I is equal to Im by root 2. By comparing these two expressions, that is the expression of power obtained for the purely resistive circuit and the general expression of power, we can see that I is equal to Im by root 2. And this value of current is called the RMS value of current, that is root mean square value of current. So by analyzing the expression of power, we saw that the current used in the expression of power for the AC source is the root mean square value of the current, which is given by IRMS is equal to Im by root 2. So analogous to the root mean square value of current, we can write the root mean square value of voltage as Vrms is equal to Vm by root 2. So from this analysis we obtain the conclusion that the effective current and effective voltage for AC source are the root mean square values of current and voltage respectively. So here we introduced a new term, which is the root mean square value, by analyzing the average power expression obtained for the AC source circuit. Now for any current or for any given interval, we can find the root mean square by first squaring the given current, that is the current AC current is I is equal to I naught sine omega t. So the method of finding root mean square for a given current and for a given interval is, first we have to square the given current, and then we have to find the mean over the given interval, and then taking the root. Thus the root mean square in general can be written as root of mean of square of the current. So this is how we find the root mean square, and by analyzing the power we have seen the significance of root mean square value.